July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. Fire Up Your Fantasy. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI-HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, because Bryan Bulaga and Jason Wilde will be on together later on in this the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. I am a little worried because they were already together for like 3 hours. So I don't know if they can have the same juice that they normally have. I will have to ask Bryan Bulaga. If I had been on with somebody for 3 hours, when I'm on with them again the same day, unless something happens, I don't know how you can get A material.
There was some stuff that we didn't hit on that we wanted to hit on. So there's some questions I have because there's definitely some stuff that I have questions about that we wanted to talk about that I didn't get any answers to.
Yeah, well, I got one question. It's not a question.
Okay.
They're not giving Jenkins anything. They're not giving him anything. The way Goody talks is like, well, if he misses a while, he's so good at the position, he'll be fine.
That's what it seems like, doesn't it?
Yes. Like, hey, and maybe it's because he's such a nice guy, or I've said this to Jason, I think it's stupid not to do something because you're asking him to change positions, and that would justify, you're still giving him the same amount of money, guarantee something. It's more a sign of, but maybe they're going with my theory that, well, we should pay him less because he's a center, not a guard, and we're giving him his same amount, so he should be happy. I don't know if they probably haven't said that because that would probably irritate you. But their actions say everything he does and say from Goody I'm thinking about is like, we ain't changing anything. Show up when he shows up. Dude's great. He'll be fine.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
And I mean, everything. I mean, the words certainly weren't that we're working through it. We're trying. That certainly wasn't the comment.
Take all the time you want. We're good. Well, how much he played center after, with no prep, or I don't remember. You would, but he basically acted like dude could show up the day of the first game, he'll be fine, or I don't know.
It was something like that.
I may be overselling it, but that was certainly the tone. Like he went about to say that he's even better than maybe he said before. Your thoughts?
Yeah, listening back to what he said, it was essentially saying that we think he's going to be fine, right? He'll be, when he's ready, he'll be back, but we don't think he needs that many that many reps. We want him out there, obviously. But then, and then essentially kind of went into, a lot of guys are unhappy with their contracts in the NFL, and that was about the end of that. And then it went back to, we think he's a really good position at the player, and when he's ready to go, he'll be out there. And that was really the end of it, right? That was the gist of what he said. There wasn't really any, we're trying to work through it, and we're trying to find a solution for both sides. There was none of that. It doesn't sound like they are, they're willing to come to a solution from a financial standpoint. At least that's what it appears. Now, we could be totally wrong on that, and they actually are figuring something out, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. I hope they are. I hope they're doing something, but I don't know. Right. And because
I don't know, you could check on this. I don't know his agent, but I would guess that if he was willing to test it a little bit, he probably would have gotten an agent that's a little more aggressive. Again, I don't know. I just
I don't know who his agent is. I don't know who the agents are. I don't know if he's with. I think he's with I don't know if he's with Rock Nation or if he's with Lil Wayne's agent, Lil Wayne's agency. I forgot which one he's with. I remember I forgot which one of who he's with.
Says he's with Clutch Sports Group, Demarius Bilbo, and Kelton Crenshaw.
Oh, so he's with LeBron James's guys, the Clutch Sports guys, I believe, right? That's what Clutch is, I think.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my only concern with it, right? Like and again, Goody seems confident with it, which, you know what, like, hey, it is what it is. I'm confident with Elton's ability. That's one thing I am confident with. So, like, I'll just put that out there. I'm confident with Elton's ability. The one thing that concerns me is the longer it pushes into camp, right? You continue to push it deeper into camp. You get through, family night, you get through preseason one, and say you push it all the way, getting closer to joint practice number one, and he's not doing anything. Now you're missing actual reps against opponents where you can be working on stuff with the starting five, where you can, essentially get test runs, good test runs with reps where your quarterback.
I don't think Goody's even worried about that.
Yeah, I know. I get that. I get that. Yeah, I get that. I understand. He may not be like as a because like I don't know if they're on the road for the first one. I think they could be on the road for the first joint practice.
Yeah, Jason gave me the 2 dates. Yes, it is. The first one's on the road. Is it at Seattle and then the Indies at
Colts,
home?
I think Seattle's at home and Colts are there.
Colts are on. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
So they're on the road, and like they'd probably be working silent count. They'd be working silent count, which is big for the center to get his silent cadence going. Like, you would be going through all those things, which is a big deal. Like, that's big time stuff to go through with your center and work through that and go through that, because you look at their first 2 games are at home. So they're not going through any silent cadence work, and they're not really getting that stuff in. So, like, that's a time to go on the road and work that through practice and get those mechanics down. Like, so there's certain things that you look at and you kind of just like, oh, though, there's an opportunity to kind of go through those mechanics and work through that with your starting center and the communication of that. And Jordan Love gets to go through that communication with the starting center. And if you miss that opportunity, when's the next time you get to go through that? So it's just, I'm just ballparking it. Like, when would he be back? And then he's still, at the end of the day, too, like, he's still got to get his pads on and get in game shape. Like, he still has to get his pads on and get in game shape. Like, this isn't like he shows up and he's just magically ready to go. Like, there is, like, getting in playing shape of football. Like, that is a real thing. I know everyone thinks it's kind of like Madden, and you turn the game on, and there we are. We just roll. You hit start, and we play. Like,
when do you or he get that way? Even if he realizes he's getting no guaranteed money, when do you have to do it based on what you believe you need to play at your level?
I would think. I mean, if it were me, I would think I would need probably 3 weeks of camp
with at a new position.
Yes, at the new position. I mean, but he's done this already. So he's done every position. So, like, he's like the outlier, this crazy.
So it's not
switch.
accurate to say at a new position. He's played this enough that you think the adjustment is not there. It's the time just that he would need at any position. Okay.
Yeah, I think for him, 3 weeks is probably good for him. Now, for me, if you're changing a whole new position that you've never done.
Like if they moved you to left tackle.
Yeah, I would need the whole camp.
Right.
I would need every rep I could possibly that they would be willing to give me to get it done. Like, and that's what happened in 2013 before I tore my ACL in family night. I took every rep I could get. I took every single rep that they were willing to give me to start making that switch, because you just need it to start building that muscle memory up from making a position switch. And you're hearing the calls flipped over in your head, and you're working with a new guy, and you're trying to flip all the calls in your brain on the move, and your hand placement's different, and the timing and everything is just you're doing something completely different, but it's the same. And it sounds easier than what it is, but like it's a big change. And for him, since he's done it, I don't think he needs as much time. But 3 weeks, I mean, there's not that many reps to go around if you think of it, right? Like there's not that many reps. Like the practice is an hour and a half. Maybe there's 3 or 4 team periods and they go 1, 2s, and 3s. Maybe there's 12 or 14 reps a team period. The ones are maybe taking 6 to 7 of those reps. You do the math, there's not a ton of reps. So like you look at the week and then they're taking 2 days on, 1 day off, or whatever it may be. There's just not a bunch of reps. So like I just look at it, I think 3 weeks, he would get what he would need to be ready to go week 1 against Detroit. But again, I'm not in his shoes. I don't know what Elton needs from that standpoint. Obviously, I don't know, and I'm not saying this tongue in cheek. I don't know what's going on with his back, right? I'm not saying that in any jest.
I am. I want to say it in jest.
Okay.
I don't have the slightest worry about his back whatsoever.
I get it. You don't, but I'm just saying it from my standpoint. I don't know. I can't speak on it. I can't speak on it.
I know you can't speak on it, but how would you bet? Which way would you bet? I'm betting it's not serious. Yes.
No. Yes. Yeah. I would bet it's not serious. Correct. I would bet it's not serious. Yes.
I'm assuming he'll be 100% for the start of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suspect that also that Goody thinks of him as so much a pro that he will, even if he's not happy about not getting guaranteed money, he will do things in a manner that is professional so that he's ready.
So I got a question.
Doesn't he have 2 years left in his contract?
Yeah, this and next.
Yeah.
And I guess here's my, and this is just me, as I read through that, through the transcript of it, I don't know how Elton thinks of it, and I don't know how maybe you think of it when you read it, or even you, Pebble. I guess the quote that said, "We've always done right by Elton, and he's always done right by us." How do you think that maybe sits with Elton? Because I just look at it from the standpoint, like, you're going through this right now, right? Like you're going through this current situation. He's moving positions, right? It's kind of an unknown. He's approaching the age where everyone knows the Packers essentially don't like to keep guys.
He's got 2 years left. He's playing the next 2 years. He's too good not to, but he's going to play at their position. And
but is that considered doing right by the player?
You'd have to look. I think this contract was pretty good contract, right? And so they don't feel like they have to guarantee it, but you can look at the money. And it's very simple. If he doesn't want to play center, tells him.
Here's my question.
Right.
What if he outperforms that contract this year as the center? What if he plays unbelievable as a center? The highest paid center, I believe, is making $18 million this year.
And he's making what?
I think it's 13 this year? Then what?
We're happy for you.
Oh,
making 13 next year.
You see now.
They're not going to extend it. Why would they extend it?
See, but that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Let me answer that since you hate me already. I would assume, and I would push for significant incentives.
You could, yeah.
That means that if he does this or that, now whether or not they're willing to do that, but I think, hey, this is great. We got a great player for 2 years, and I don't. I think he could have very reasonably said, I don't want to play center. Now, you can answer this. So which position is harder? If center's easier, then they're paying him the same for a position that's easier. They're doing him a favor. And would you believe that you can play longer at that position?
I would say you could probably play longer at center. Yes, I do believe that. Now, what
do you disagree with? you kind of get a little on edge because I think it's part of, they just take us for granted. Like, whatever we do, fine, thanks. You signed the deal. We offered you that kind of money before we knew you were that good. Now, the reality is they knew he was that good. That's why they gave him the money.
Yeah.
So
no, I get that. No, I understand. I get it. And listen, it's not chump change by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that at all. It's
well, I'll say it if you won't. He deserves more. He's worth more.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. That's all I'm trying to say is that if he performs, say like we go with what you're saying, and they say, oh, we're keeping him for 2 years, and he outperforms this year and plays great, right? And plays amazing. And and they didn't, and say nothing happens on the deal, right? And Elton goes, fine, you know what? You're not adding any guarantee, whatever, fine. And he plays on it, and he performs amazingly this year.
And
say he makes a Pro Bowl.
Then to Goody, if I'm Goody, I add a 1-year extension with some, because I want him to be, he's so good. Now that he can decide and say, screw you, I'm not doing that. This is my last year and I'm out. But
no, okay, that makes I'm with you on that, because then that would boost up money, and I'm with you on that.
And we know, again, anytime I say something you say I'm wrong, at that age, it doesn't matter how good you are, it's a 1-year thing for them every year.
Correct.
So
100%,
I guess
100%.
I guess if they gave him that bonus, then they're basically saying 2 years again.
Yep.
So you hope you get that. So you'd give, and I think that's possible. Because that's just not that big of money. That's not that much money. The signing bonus could be what, $10 million or something like that, and
it wouldn't be crazy,
right? If he's that good,
correct? Yeah, correct.
Because then if he's that good, and you hope your left guard is that good, your right guard could be. How good does he have to be? He's got Zach Tom on one side of him, and he's got two all pros.
Yeah, he can be protected.
Yes.
He can be protected for sure.
All right, we've got Jason Wilde. I'll take this time to get my cot ready. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Southbound on 41, still a heavy ride from just north of Appleton Avenue down to Capitol Drive. The northbound side backing up just before Mayfair Road up to Hampton. Eastbound on 94, we're backing up basically from Highway 164 all the way through the Barker Road area. Westbound, we do have a crash off on the left shoulder just past Springdale Road. We've also got westbound delays coming from 20th Street all the way to Hawley Road, and then from Highway 100 all the way past Moreland. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, slight chance for rain or storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 70. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, still humid, slight chance for thunderstorms to the south, a high of 80. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for the best spot to hang out at the Wisconsin State Fair? Head to Left's Miller Lite Sports Bar and Grill on the corner of Grandstand Avenue and 2nd Street. Enjoy the best music lineup at the fair, plus crowd favorites like French onion cheese curds and meatloaf and mashed bomb pops. Join the Taste Great Less Filling contest daily at 3 p.m. to win Brewers tickets, and don't miss the Miller Lite Toast from 5:30 to 7:15. Catch 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee broadcasting live on August 4th and 5th with chances to win swag, prizes, and more. For more details, visit lefts.com, and we'll see you at Left's Miller Lite Sports Bar and Grill.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
The Big Slide, barns and barns of animals, and all that food on a stick. State Fair is one of the biggest events of the summer, and we'd like to send you there. Compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Purchase any one case 30-pack cans of Miller High Life or any one 12-pack Leinenkugel craft beer and receive one free State Fair ticket, all while supplies last. But don't delay. Tickets go quickly. And I know you don't want to miss the bacon-wrapped bacon. Visit us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Discount Liquor, voted best liquor store in Milwaukee, again! See us this week for your free Wisconsin State Fair ticket.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount
us online at discountliquorinc.com.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience.
The biggest thing for us in the Experience Center was a collaboration with the team. We were able to come in and sit down and go over a bunch of different options, and it wasn't just us dictating what we wanted.
They asked us things we didn't even know or think about, from colors to hardware, and because of that, we were able to get the best possible look for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Just like Jim and Haley, you too can see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines, side by side, at our Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. And today is a great day to stop by because right now you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. The Pella Experience Center is on Blue Mountain Road, kitty corner to delicious Cops. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, get the look you want at a price you can afford. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Server restrictions apply in 7/31/2025.
Drive a clean car every day. Tsunami Express Car Wash makes driving in style simple with unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Become a member and enjoy premium fast lane access, free vacuums, and powerful tire air, all included in your membership. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, New Berlin, and Mount Pleasant, it's easier than ever to get a winning wash with Milwaukee's favorite car wash team. Sign up and score big at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Jason Wilde's important, but Surfside is bigger. Take it away, Bryan Bulaga.
That's right. I want to talk to you about my friends at Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than a nice cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Surfside tastes cleaner than all those other drinks you see on the shelf. It doesn't have that sweet, sugary taste that makes you regret drinking it after a few sips. You know exactly what I'm talking about because you've had those other drinks that you see on the shelf. Turn away from those. Trust me. Grab the Surfside. There's so many other great flavors, like my favorite, the half tea, half lemonade, peach tea, raspberry lemonade, and so many more. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right. No carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripe, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. You must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
And I have.
It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, I have the cot ready. Take it away, the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga. You guys are so good together.
Jason, good evening again. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, long time no talk. Was actually driving to Sid's volleyball tournament here and drove by a Surfside billboard. Thought of you.
Oh, how about that? Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Indeed.
So I know when we last talked, you were walking back up from practice, but what were the interesting things from practice? Just give us a quick roundup while we have you. What were the quick roundup notes? I know it's just shells and helmets, but quick roundup, exciting things that took place at camp today.
Yeah, I'll tell you the one thing. I mean, again, as you and I discussed this morning while it was going on, it's still when it's, helmets, jerseys, and shorts, it's really not the same as what it'll be on Sunday and when they have their first padded practice. But I got to say, I was standing with our buddy Tim Van Voren, and Mecole Hardman had a catch across the middle where he just snatched the ball between a couple of defenders. And I got to say, I was probably, again, I understand we're 2 practices in, but he did this in the OTAs and the minicamp as well. I probably underestimated his chances. Now, again, I don't know, how things are going to shake out. Goody kind of intimated that Watson's going to start on PUP to start the season. He didn't say that officially, but he made it sound like that's the likely scenario. You got one of your wide receivers from last year in Bo Melton playing corner full-time. So Mecole Hardman has made plays pretty much every practice I've attended. And so I think maybe we have to at least give him a little more benefit of the doubt that he's a more realistic chance to make this roster than we first thought. Now, he's obviously got to sustain it, but that was one thing that jumped out at me. There were a couple of interceptions again today, but I think one was Elgersma. I think the other one was maybe Clifford. But there was also a play that jumped out at me because I think this is the kind of thing where Jordan Love really excels. He's never going to turn into Lamar Jackson. He's not going to turn into Josh Allen. But he's got an elusiveness inside the pocket, which, I think is natural, but I think also probably being around Aaron helped him with that because Aaron was very good about those subtle movements to create space in the pocket. And he did that today and then made a really terrific throw to Matthew Golden between a couple of defenders, including Bo Melton, one of the defenders, for a big gain on a crosser. So those were some of the things that jumped out. And then just from my time in the locker room, I had a long conversation with Dontavion Wicks. And it was really, really interesting and hearing him talk about, where he was at mentally last season and how that really impacted his performance. Because he's always been a pretty confident guy, but I think that was clearly dented. He was listening to too much of the outside noise. He was counting opportunities and reps. And how bad of a Mike McCarthy would call that polluted mindset that can be. So he says he's kind of freed himself of that and is hoping that obviously allows him to have the breakout year in year 3 that he admitted he was expecting to have last year and a lot of other people were expecting him to have, and he didn't deliver it.
So obviously, like you said, there's a long way to go for Hardman. With Watson, like you also said, most likely going on PUP. Let's be real. It'd be wise if he started on PUP, regardless of where he is at his rehab. It's just wise to do that. Let's be real. How many receivers, realistically, do you see them keeping? In all honesty, how many can they keep?
Yeah, if they're going to classify Bo as a corner, which is what he's wearing number 16. He's got a green jersey, which, again, for fans who haven't been to a practice before, the offensive guys like Bulaga wear white. The defensive guys wear green, and the quarterbacks wear red. But he, if you classify him as a corner, and you look at where they are on the depth chart at corner, whether it's Kalen King or Micah Robinson or one of these, Gregory Jr. that they picked up, I see a scenario where they say, look, we're going to classify Bo as a corner because we have to have him for special teams. Don't forget, they lost all their gunners, right? Corey Ballantyne's not back, or Flyers, as Bisaccia calls them. Ballantyne's gone. Robert Rochelle is gone. I think this is, and this is not just wishful thinking, I think they really want Bo on the team for special teams purposes, but they also know that they probably have guys at wide receiver who belong on the team more. So I think this is kind of a sleight of hand, a 3-card Monty of his roster.
Yeah, I'm joining that club.
So if that's true, do they keep 6? Do they keep 7? They kept 7 before. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself on Hardman. I just think that was, one of the things that has jumped out at me again and again. The other part of this too is, and it's been a while since they've done this, but it used to be, certainly under Ted and before that, definitely under Ron. They love the late in camp or at the trade or at the cut down deadline trade where they get a future, 7th or a 6th or whatever it might be, for a guy they were planning on cutting anyway. And so, and I don't know if there's any wide receivers that fit that bill, but if you see stuff, this summer out of Matthew Golden that's really encouraging. If, say a guy like Malik Heath, who's one of their best blockers, takes a meaningful step forward, and you're like, I don't know if we want to give up on this guy or, whatever. If Wicks plays like I think and everyone thinks he's capable of playing, but hasn't done so consistently, maybe a guy like Romeo becomes, expendable. And he has value. He's been productive in this league for 3 years to varying degrees. Maybe he's the guy that ends up being the odd man out. There was some talk about him being on the trade block. I'm not sure I believe that back in the offseason, but maybe that's another way where you keep the guys you really want. You make a trade that, who knows, maybe you can get something for him that's better than what you would get for the compensatory pick if you let him sign elsewhere in March.
So with Elton not practicing, right, and the starting lineup, or for the starting offensive line currently going, Sheed, Banks, Sean Ryan, Morgan, and Tom. There's a couple factors here, and I know you know it. What do we make now of the left tackle competition? And then what do we make of when Elton eventually does return? What do we make of Sean Ryan then having to try and reclaim back a right guard spot that he has taken no reps at up until that point? What does that mean then for him?
Yeah, it's obviously not ideal now. They've been doing some juggling, and I do think that Steno and Butkus understand that. Look, eventually Elton's going to be here. We can't just make Sean Ryan work at center all the time. So they had some where they mixed in Monk with the ones, so Sean Ryan could work at right guard. What I thought was interesting today was that they took some reps off of Aaron Banks, and it was Travis Glover, who obviously had a tough time, if we're putting it politely, in the playoff game after Elton departed after 4 snaps. And so, that's a big opportunity for him, right? Like, and I know I tease you, and it's only because I love you, buddy. But, I give you a hard time about that game in Seattle and Bruce Irvin, right? I mean, sometimes things just go badly, and it doesn't mean you're a bad player. But, and this is why I'm bringing you up, you didn't go in the tank, right? Hey, bad game. I'm better than that. I'm going to be better than that. And then, that was what, 2012? He had a great career after that.
Glover was way worse than Bulaga ever was in any game in his career.
I'm not saying that they were the same level of bad. I'm saying that resiliency is important. And Bryan, unlike Glover, had 2010 and 2011 to lean on and say, look how good I've been. I don't have a single doubt in my mind that this was just a crummy day, right? Whereas Glover, that's all he has. Right? I mean, He barely played snaps last. I don't even know if he had, more than like 3 or 4 offensive snaps all season before he had to play in that game against arguably the best front 4 in the league. And he got cooked. And then he got benched. And then he had to go back in after there was another injury. So to me, and the reason I brought that up is not to be a jerk, even though I have been known to be one from time to time. It's because, if he can take this and say, all right, now I'm building myself back up, so I'm ready for the next chance when they give it to me, that's great. If that destroyed his confidence, he's a quiet guy to begin with. If he didn't move on from that, and if he's not going to utilize this training camp to turn things around, then they're going to find other guys on the offensive line.
Jason,
so
he also might not be any good, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with mental or breaking down.
Certainly it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, I think in fairness to him, though, like he's a 6th-round pick from Georgia Southern. Like, he didn't play top-flight competition. It's not like he played at Georgia. And so their plan for him was for him to be like one of those redshirt guys, right? Like I was just Marco Rivera as the best example. Or I think TJ Lang kind of took a red shirt his first year too. Like, we know this guy's going to be good, or we think this guy's going to be good. He ain't good now, right? I mean, I think that's going to be their approach, preferably with Belton, even though he's a 2nd-round pick. But when you get forced into the fire, you can either do what Tausch did in Buffalo in 2000 and rise to the occasion and be really good, or you can get it handed to you. And then if you did get it handed to you, what are you going to do about it?
What is, I guess, obviously a lot of the onus has been or a lot of things have been talked about the D-line. What have those guys been saying about kind of this second year in this defense, expectations, what they kind of fell short on last year and then coming into this year? What have those guys been saying? Those front four guys, or the pass rushers, so to speak, coming into this camp and kind of what they're looking for out of themselves this year compared to what happened last year.
Yeah, I know Kenny Clark was talking today while I was talking to Dontavion Wicks, so I haven't looked at that transcript yet. But and I have not seen Lucas Van Ness in the first 2 days we've been in the locker room. He had a nice pressure on Love yesterday that clearly would have been a sack if they were live. And then I don't want to say that again. Only 2 games, only 2 practices. They're not in pads. But remember last year we were extolling the virtues of their pass rush and how Jordan Love was under siege for lengthy parts of training camp. I haven't seen that through 2 practices. Again, when the pads are on, it means more. But maybe it's better if we're not saying, "Oh my God, Rashawn Gary was dominant all training camp," because then obviously we got to the season, he wasn't so dominant. So I think those guys. Talking to them in the off season, Rashawn's not wired to talk about them in terms of, we could have been better in this or that. I think Lucas Van Ness has been much more open about how disappointing they were in terms of what they did up front. And so I think he understands, especially individually, that this is a really, really big year and he's got to be better. I think there's a greater comfort level, whether that translates to greater production, or if it's like Homer is saying about Travis Glover, maybe he's just not very good. I don't want to believe that, but I have to at least allow for that possibility.
Why don't you want to believe that?
Because he has he's built like a what, and he's again, he did something that, and Bryan can speak to this, that Iowa guys don't do. Like he left before he started a game there. He played 2 years there. He was a situational, rotational guy, but he's got all the tools, but he's still scratching the surface. And for me, and obviously for Bryan, who's blocked these types of guys, he's power. And then he had the broken thumb last year. Unless he develops a variance of moves and being able to go power to speed or speed to power, guys like Bryan would eat him up. But I refuse to believe a guy from Iowa is just not very good, because that very rarely in the history of me covering the team, I think Abdul Hodge is the only one that they've drafted. And they've drafted a lot of Iowa guys. I think Abdul Hodge is the only one that was this guy's not quite as good as they drafted him to be.
All right. Just curious, did you guys discuss earlier our discussion that what Goody said is they're not giving anything to Jenkins? He comes in 2 days before. He's fine. He's a great center. He'll be all right. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
We did not.
Did you hear the same thing from Goody as I did?
Yeah, Bryan. What did you think?
That's what it's what it kind of sounds like to me. It sounds like the Packers have dug their feet in. That's what it sounds like to me. And it's gonna be how far does Elton dig his feet in? That's what this sounds like currently.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna see how long this goes.
Eventually he's gonna lose, right? Eventually he wants to be. If this goes all the way into August, which again I don't know if it's gonna. I saw Elton today. I did not speak to him, but if it goes, past family night, and you start to get a little nervous, he's got to get ready. Because don't forget he's a vested veteran. He needs to be active, week 1, so he can get his $11 million base salary for this year guaranteed. Otherwise, not only is he not getting other money guaranteed from this team, he's losing out on the money that he would have guaranteed if he just plays in the first week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, Jason, do you think he's going to get any guaranteed money, yes or no?
I don't, which I think is wrong and a mistake. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
I'm ready to roll again. Next quarter coming up.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
That's a bit of a heavy ride. Westbound 94, for example, starting to slow down before 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes from Highway 100 past Elm Grove Road. And then just west of Moreland, it's going to be slow all the way to an accident scene just past Springdale Road. It's off on the left shoulder, by the way. So those are the delays there. On the eastbound side, we got backups from 164 to about Springdale, and then we've got more delays from the zoo all the way through the stadium interchange to about 35th. Southbound 43 got most of our delays happening from Burleigh all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge down to about Lincoln. Northbound slowing down from just south of Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to about Locust. Southbound 41, you're seeing delays still from before Appleton Avenue down to Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, slight chance for rain or storms. Mostly cloudy with a low of 70. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and still humid. Slight chance for thunderstorms to the south, a high of 80. Weather is brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. WeatherTech Vintage Weekend is coming up July 23rd through the 25th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule at roadamerica.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Brewers return from the break with a jam-packed week of action. First up, a summer battle with the Marlins, July 25th through the 27th. Come for the action, stay for Pokemon Go Day on Friday the 25th, and a Bryce Terang bobblehead on Saturday the 26th, presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank. Then, it's time to battle back when the Crew takes on the Cubs for 3 games starting on July 28th. Get tickets for a week of Brewers action you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
Milwaukee just got hotter. Announcing the buys of summer at Ewald Automotive Group. Get the lowest prices guaranteed on new vehicles. We'll beat your best price by $500 or we'll pay you $500 cash. Guaranteed. With over 1,500 vehicles to choose, you're sure to find the perfect ride for your family. 11 brands, 10 locations, one easy experience. Don't miss Ewald's Buys of Summer sales event going on now.
Go to ewaldauto.com.
See dealer for details. Expires month end.
At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel. That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub, or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Siding Unlimited is your local family-owned and operated resource for remodeling your home. We specialize in replacing windows, siding, roofing, doors, and decks. I say specialize because that is who we send to your home. Our team is built around the experts in all fields. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Waukesha.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Baseball is back. Bryan Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Holtebeck Eye Center. I went there a long time ago. Dr. Aaron Holtebeck was there, and I went through everything. And it was clear they made vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Talked about how they've been doing it right for 20 years. Then he said, but we got to get better. Really? Yeah. Got to get better. Got to help even more. So they added Dr. Nausheen Abbas, joined the team, and they are now accepting new patients. Good, and they want to get even better. Don't mess with your vision. Trust the experts from Holterbeck Eye Center in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holterbeck.com. It doesn't happen often. Take advantage of it now. They are now accepting new patients. Holterbeck Eye Center. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Yes, you guys were great given that you talked for 3 hours earlier today.
You still had some material.
Yes, you definitely had some material.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the union and how bad that went.
Sure.
We both predicted the guy was going to lose his job.
Yeah.
But the question that I have is, isn't there like an executive committee of how many players, and aren't they to some degree responsible for putting someone like that in office? And as a follow-up, you can address it. Treader, to me, just quit because people were just crushing him for his so-called involvement, and I think he felt like he didn't do anything, and I'm just not going to be a part of this anymore. I don't know if either of those are accurate, but you have what's the executive committee? Isn't it like 12 or somebody?
Yeah. So
they should all get fired, but go ahead.
Yeah, so how it goes is the 12 executive committee guys, how I read it was the 12 executive guys vote on the 2 finalists, and they did vote on the 2 finalists, and they vote in confidence, but then the 32 player reps vote, and that's the final vote on who gets elected. And the 32 player reps from each team voted on the guy that was elected and eventually stepped down. Now, the 12 executive members, I guess in 11-1 or whatever it was, voted for the other guy. But they don't share that information not to sway the vote.
What?
That was the way it went. That's the
idiotic.
way I read it.
All right,
I know.
I'm one of the people, like I'm the Packer, whenever you are. I want that smaller group because they are going to have to spend more time, whatever, and then I'm going to listen to what they say.
I would like that information on why they voted for who they voted for.
Yeah.
100%. There's no doubt. And
is that the way it's always been?
I think it got changed.
Oh,
I think it's been changed, and it sounds like JC stepped down, because it sounds like there's a lot of bad things going on within the union, like inside the union, right? Like, and I don't think JC wants, because I think what JC's concern was that he was like planning, like for some reason, like he was planning this, like now he wanted to step into this role. Like he wanted the executive director role, like, and now this all went, and
right.
Now
and I know what
right
I'd be like. If you're that stupid, I'm not going to be a part of this.
Yes,
you're idiot.
exactly.
Like you don't know me better than that, given all that I've done. Right?
Yeah,
I'm getting out of here.
Yep, that's why he's like, I'm out. I don't want any part of this.
Yeah.
And from the way I understand it, there's a lot of, it's not good at the union. Like things are not good. There's a lot of people that behind the scenes are not doing good things. And to me, like that is so bad for the guys. Like it's bad for the guys. And it's not looking up for the best interests of the players. And to me, like it's so counterproductive of what the union's supposed to be doing for the current players, the future players, and the former players. And it's such a shame. It really is. It is a shame. And this is the weakest point for the players right now. This is it. Like this is the weakest point for the NFL players right at this moment.
But it should be, because whatever they did was idiotic. Like you have each team has a rep. All right. So then as we're all reps. I want to pick, I don't know if the executive is 4, 6, whatever it is. I'm going to pick the guys that I think are the smartest. And you guys represent us. And then you decide whatever, because I don't want to spend that much time. And then you tell us, right? And then we vote.
Yeah,
I'm going to vote. I'm going to, unless I have some personal disagreement, I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do. right?
Yes. I want to hear your recommendation.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
Gosh,
At least I think so.
Well, no, come on, Bryan. This isn't football. This is like any, right? Any group, you put a small group of, when you have that many, you don't want 32 people deciding. They can take forever.
Well, this is, and now we're getting into hiring CEOs, right? Like how big businesses hire CEOs. And this is where the players struggle, right? Like this is what we're talking about, right?
Come on, they should hire me. It's not that hard. We get the 32 together. All right. It's like when Jim McElvain, Patrick Ewing said, McElvain, he's in charge. Matt, what should I do? He called him the CPA. But no, you pick the group that you think, one, they're the smartest, but also are interested in spending extra time. And then they should be smart enough to say, we'll hire a consultant or somebody.
They did hire the consultant. The consultant got it down to these two guys, the executive committee voted on those two guys. They came up with their vote. And then the 32 reps voted on the final.
But the 32 reps did not know. You said the executive committee didn't vote on the guy who won. They voted on the other guy.
Yep, but their vote, it's the 32.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yep, and that's how it goes.
Well, I'll just tell all of them. They deserve what they got. Like, how can the 32 create an executive committee and then say, we don't know what we don't care what they think, right?
It makes no sense.
It makes absolutely no sense, yes. But you should be in charge. Come on.
No thanks. Don't want it.
Yes, they need you. What do you mean you don't want it? You'd be smart enough to then pick who you do want to have do it, right? If you don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, to vet properly, to run this union, yeah, you got to have, it needs to be vetted way better. Way better.
I mean, it's hard for me to comprehend. Now I can see how nobody knew about all this stuff was going on because nobody knew on the outside. You mean you have an executive committee and nobody listens to them?
Mm-hmm.
Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Looking for the best spot to hang out at the Wisconsin State Fair? Head to Left's Miller Lite Sports Bar and Grill on the corner of Grandstand Avenue and 2nd Street. Enjoy the best music lineup at the fair, plus crowd favorites like French onion cheese curds and meatloaf and mashed bomb pops. Join the Taste Great Less Filling contest daily at 3 p.m. to win Brewers tickets, and don't miss the Miller Lite Toast from 5:30 to 7:15. Catch 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee broadcasting live on August 4th and 5th with chances to win swag, prizes, and more. For more details, visit lefts.com, and we'll see you at Left's Miller Lite Sports Bar and Grill.
This is Mike from Professional Construction, Inc. It's been an exciting year, from celebrating 20 years in business to our son graduating his construction apprenticeship and becoming a full-time carpenter.
Yeah, Dad, I won't be needing my toy hammer anymore. Why don't you hold that and the flashlight so I can help our amazing customers?
That's what a family business is all about, pursuing dreams and helping others.
And that's exactly what we do here at PCI.
Visit ProfessionalConstructionInc.com for all your construction needs.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
It's a fine idea when it comes to Oregon head coach Dan Lanning trying to help his sport. This is what he said to ESPN, and I quote, "I'd be in favor of creating our playoff system to mirror every other playoff system in sports. The season's over, and the playoff starts shortly after. The long break is something I'm not crazy about. I wish we played every single Saturday in college football. I wish college football ended on January 1st, end quote. He wants fewer bye weeks. Teams have 2 this year. He wants a shorter break between the regular season and the playoffs and an earlier title game. He also said the regular season should start in week 0. That would aid in moving the rest of the calendar up a week. Dan, it's a fine idea. Here's the problem, Coach Lanning. You don't have that kind of money to make people do those kind of things, even if it makes sense. When you have that kind of stroke and power, and people in college football have that above you, they're not going to let a good idea come to fruition getting in the way of their money. In 60 seconds, the complicated legacy of the late Hulk Hogan.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
You can make the case that he is the greatest wrestler in the history of professional wrestling when it comes to Hulk Hogan. Not trying to say he was better than Ric Flair or Harley Race or Bruno Sammartino or other of the greats of the wrestling world. But he really made wrestling that sport, if you want to call it a sport, or if you don't want to call it a sport, when in the 90s and in the 80s, when you thought about wrestling, his name was at the top of that stack when it came to Hulk Hogan. But then things got really complicated once he was done with professional wrestling. The allegations of steroids, also spousal abuse involving not one but two of his ex-wives, and then the racist comments that surfaced right around 10 years ago when that involved Hulk Hogan. There are going to be plenty of people who are going to say that shouldn't matter when it comes to his legacy. You can't use the word legacy and not tell the whole story, no matter what kind of impact he had outside of professional wrestling. He did pass away at the age of 71 when it comes to Hulk Hogan. And I'm sure plenty of people thought one way or the other about the legacy of him. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Can't help you any more than this. Fisco Auto Body, they're fantastic. You like them? You'll thank me. How do I know they're fantastic? Because it's a family business, Fisco Auto Body, on Forest Home in Franklin, owned since 1931. And it's a family business. The family's still doing it. So it's not what they do, it's who they are. You can imagine how early they start working on this stuff. Yeah. With diapers still on, I'll bet. And by the time they're doing it for you, they got it wired. That's why they're so good. Family business, family still doing it. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Expert workmanship, guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. To remember the name. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Hulk Hogan passes away. You could. It seems to me you could have been a pretty good professional wrestler. Did you have any interest, any players that you knew that became professional wrestlers?
Yes, I do. Big E from Iowa. He's a professional wrestler. Well, now he's just commentating for them. He's like on the pregame show. He's wrestling named Big E. He went to the University of Iowa. He was a WWE wrestler.
Did he ever tell you to become a professional wrestler? Did anybody ever say that you should? Am I the first one?
You're the first one.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, you're the first one. But no, my kids love it now. That's all they watch is WWE. That's all they watch.
All right, now to me, unless who's the guy that I like? He does the actor now, The Rock. No Rock, yep. No wrestling. Do they have somebody new other than The Rock? Maybe I have to give somebody else a chance. How about your kids?
Oh, they like Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. I mean, they got a bunch of different characters now these days.
You never wanted to be a professional wrestler?
No.
I won't ask why because we're out of time. Maybe the next show. ESPN National. What would the nickname have been for Bryan Bulaga? Yeah, we'll think about that. Next.
We do have some backups right now. Southbound on 40.